Let's get started. Hello, friends, and welcome to our series of live streams that takes place every week right here in this channel. My name is Christina, and I'm a copywriter at our company and the host of today's live session. Today, we are joined by Ioana Pretorian, an M&I specialist in iGaming. We will discuss how gaming business owners can sell their companies for the best price, even as regulations get tougher. We will look at real life examples, highlight common mistakes that can cost up to 40% of a company's value, and most importantly, show you how to get your business ready for sale so you can maximize your returns. And thank you guys for joining us today. Ioana, please tell us about yourself and how long have you been working in M&A?
Sorry for technical issues. So I was saying, first of all, I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for the warm welcome. Hello, everyone. So a bit about myself and my background, how I ended up in M&A. My journey in this space started 7 years ago, actually going on 8 now, considering time flies. When I moved to Cyprus, many people know Cyprus as a very big tech hub. We're here with forex companies, with payments, crypto companies, and for the past couple of years, the M&A space has been starting to grow as well, very very fast. And this is what brought me in this space. I made the transition from fintech more into M&A once I started learning after several years in fintech, gaining so much knowledge on regulation and growing the network. It was just the natural next step to get into M&A and through my network to help buyers and sellers come together in this space.
Your experience in the industry is impressive, actually.
Thank you
uh,
very much.
and could you tell us about your experience in M&A within iGaming? What are some of the largest deals you have been involved in, and what made them unique?
Sure. So iGaming, from my point of view, is the most exciting space for this kind of deals, just because each case is so vastly different from the next. But if I was to think of one specific example to give, it would be a deal, multi-jurisdictional involving a mid-sized casino brand. So it wasn't one of the biggest things I've ever seen, but what made it special was because it was operating across several jurisdictions, including Curacao, MGA, and some LATAM markets. And obviously the complexity of this came the complexity of this case, it came from regulatory overlaps and KYC compliance gaps, because each jurisdiction is so different. So we managed to turn what looked into a very difficult hard sell into a seven-figure transaction by just restructuring some of the assets and repositioning the offer to match the buyer's market entry strategy. So it was a team effort from involving lawyers, involving a lot of negotiation and restructuring a bit of the business plan. But in the end, it came to a good result, a successful deal. But it was very complex and interesting.
In your experience, how do M&A deals in iGaming differ from those in other industries? What common pitfalls do people often overlook, like strict legislations or something else?
That's very right. It's about legislations, and I think everyone in this space is already used to this fast-moving and highly regulated environment, and each jurisdiction changing from year to year, evolving and becoming more complex. So, unlike many traditional industries, compliance, payment processing, and affiliate relationships, can make or break a deal if we're talking about iGaming. So one pitfall I see at the moment is owners not preparing their documentation properly before entering the space. this kind of their transaction. And when I say documentation, I'm thinking about licenses, traffic source breakdown, affiliate agreement terms. So buyers don't just buy the revenue, right? They don't just buy the EBITDA that they see, but they buy trust in future in and the strength of the business and the cash flow.
So basically, what are the main reasons why iGaming business owners decide to sell their companies?
There are a few different reasons. One mistake is to jump straight away to the conclusion that the business isn't doing well. Yes, sometimes that can be a reason, of course, but it's not the only one. So the three main reasons that I see is okay, burnout. Let's start with the easiest one. The management just can't handle it anymore. They hit a growth ceiling, let's say, or the regulatory pressure is getting too much, and they want to get out. Many owners simply want to cash out before compliance becomes more difficult or costly, right? Other reasons are that maybe this was just from the beginning set like a project that they would want to take on and to scale until a certain point, and then make a strategic exit and fund the next one, right? And some people just want to change industries. It's very different reasons all the time. But yes, burnout is a big case. Regulatory pressures sometimes can make people panic and want to get out, or simply it's time to sell, make an exit.
So since the strict regulations are the main reason, or one of the main reasons. How do these stricter regulations, like in places like Curacao, Isle of Man, and Malta, affect how much a business is worth? Like with all these changes, is it still possible to sell a business for a good price? Are buyers still interested?
Absolutely, and it's a very good question. And I would say, the as the case is with most things in life, you can always see the glass half full or the glass half empty, and it's the same when we're talking about stricter regulations. They increase costs, but also increase credibility. A business with clean compliance and proper licensing becomes more valuable because it reduces the buyer's post-acquisition risks. So yes, buyers are still very much interesting as long as the fundamentals are strong.
And what mistakes do owners make before selling that could cost them a lot of money?
This is a big question, and but I'll give an example of something that seems so easy that sometimes the most obvious things are the ones that we overlook. And major mistake is mixing, and I've seen this a few times, and I find it funny just because everyone would think it's so obvious that would never happen, but it does. So a major mistake that I see is mixing personal and business finances. So it creates red flags for buyers and it complicates due diligence. I've seen valuations drop by 30-40% because of this one issue. So it's important that you keep your financials clean and clear. Okay, and when you hand over the reports, your audits, everything, that it's very tidy and doesn't mix things from outside the business. And again, it seems obvious, but it does happen and it causes delays, it raises red flags, and yeah, it can reduce the sale value immensely.
Uh, dear friends, before we move forward, you can leave your comments in the special section in our Telegram channel. Just kindly reminder to you. And we move on to the next question. Ioana, what do you think? How can business owners prepare a business for sale to get the best possible price?
So they should start by organizing their documentations, everything from financials to the licenses, traffic analytics, and clearly separating and defining all the assets that go into this sale. Then you should make sure that your brand positioning is aligned with what buyers are looking for. But doing this alone is tough in such a complex industry. So this is part of my job. It's to help present the business in a way that attracts serious offer and maximizes value. Presentation is very, very important.
So just these two steps.
Yes, very
Mm-hmm.
clear financials, very clear documentation on everything, the company structure, and very clear separation of all the assets that go into the deal, and a clear breakdown of them. And it's very important to leave. I see business owners, it's very normal that they can get a bit too emotional in this because they're selling their work, their baby in many cases. So you need a professional. You need someone like me that comes in with a fresh view and can maybe open your eyes to a different positioning of your brand or your company, just to make it more appealing to buyers. So sometimes you need to sacrifice a bit of pride and just know how to best position, how to make your business proposition attractive to the buyers that are in the market today that maybe have a different business view than you as an owner had some years back when you started your business. The iGaming landscape, as we said previously, changes very fast and we can be talking about big changes.
And I believe some deals close faster than others.
And that's very, very true. So, readiness is the biggest factor. So, you have to have, like I said before, it comes down to clean data, proper licensing, and transparent operations. Uh, uh, all of these, they speed up the due diligence. And also, readiness from an emotional point of view as well. Like I mentioned, not sometimes, it's normal that emotions are involved, especially from the seller side. So I've seen cases when the seller actually backed out last minute. They had a change of heart. Of course, it happens, it's business. But this is why I'm saying you need to be as sure as you can be that you are actually ready to go on with this. And before starting the process, take as much time as you need, weeks, months, whatever the case may be, to have all your data and all your information as best prepared as possible.
What do you think? What affects how quickly an iGaming business can be sold? If the owner won't sell a company faster than expected.
Well, first of all, I would say the correct valuation, right? And this again has to do with sometimes has to do with emotion. A lot of sellers, um, they're overly attached and put a higher value than it's actually a real on their business, and this can drag the sale process on for a very, very long time. So it can cause huge delays. And also, this might sound a bit discouraging, but it's how relevant is your business right now in the current landscape in iGaming, right? It's like we said, everything changes so fast. Reputations of licenses change dramatically. Types of games that customers play from year to year, they change. So I've also seen cases, unfortunately, of businesses that their model was simply outdated, and so it wasn't very easy and very fast to close that kind of deal.
Have you had cases where a deal nearly failed because of problems with licenses or payments? What did you do to resolve this situation?
Yes, I did actually, and this question ties to something that I just said. So very good question. I was mentioning um, licenses, jurisdictions, different types of licenses changing from time to time, and how well they're perceived. So to give an example, during a sports book sale, compliance gaps in the Curaçao license that operation was holding at the time. These gaps in compliance nearly killed the deal. We paused, we corrected the issues with legal support, and we re-engaged the buyer, luckily. But all of this delayed the close, but we saved the transaction. Right. So yes, the deal nearly failed because of license problems, compliance gaps, to be more precise. Are we still on?
Oh, yeah. I'm actually asking the question that while I'm mute. I'm asking if a business owner wants to find out how much their company is worth before selling, where should they start?
They should talk to an expert. Like I said before, business owners themselves, they can be overly attached or overly emotional to give a fair or correct valuation to the project. So talk to an expert. There are also, I've heard people using some valuation calculators, and I've seen that there's some such tools on the internet, but I don't think they work in iGaming. So when we do a valuation for a company, we consider licensing, market focus, traffic, payment processing, and the growth potential. These are the main things, the generic ones that apply to any kind of project. Obviously, the bigger the project is, there will be more assets to study and to try to put a value on. But these are the core ones that are specific to any project in iGaming. So I hope business owners get an accurate and actionable valuation that reflects the real world buyer expectations.
So, friends, if you want to know what your online gaming business is really worth, it's best to talk to Ioana. First, Ioana know the market inside out. Secondly, Ioana will make sure you get an accurate valuation, and you can believe us. Ioana can give you clear advice on how to boost your company's value before you sell. Yeah, and that is why it's smart to book a consultation with Diana first. And while you're checking your calendar for a convenient time for this consultation, let's move on. And by the way, you can leave your comments in a special section in our Telegram channel. And let's move on. How do you help your clients not just sell their business, but get the best possible deal? I guess it's pretty tough.
It's not easy, but and my previous experience, now to make a little parenthesis again, a bit more personal note about myself. Before I started my journey in Cyprus that I mentioned, I'm originally from Romania, and in Romania I was doing marketing for several years. And who would have thought that that actually will come in handy many years later when getting into M&A? But it is very handy because I help clients position themselves uh, basically by positioning their business as a strategic asset. So it not just a set of numbers, right? I help create a narrative that matches what buyers are actively looking for. So I guide the owner through every step, negotiate on terms, on their behalf and make sure they don't settle for less than what their business is truly worth. But behind every, let's say, sales pitch, you need a narrative, you need a story about that business, not just numbers. Everyone in this industry, we're all looking at numbers all day, every day. You need something to get you excited about the business. You need to see a story that you believe in, not just numbers. So this is what I help to do. I help create, give you this narrative and place and make your business look like a strategic asset.
And last but not least, where can our guests contact you if they have more questions after this session?
Sure. So, of course, you can contact me here on Telegram. We also have a group for dedicated to the M&A marketplace. You'll find my Telegram handle over there. You can find me on LinkedIn simply with my name or through the MGL company page. And drop me a DM anywhere. I'll be happy to schedule a free consultation with you and see if I can help you in any way.
And finally, we got one question. Adam asking, what are the primary stages of work that need to be done if I want to sell a business? And how can you help me with this?
So first, we need to uh, properly put in order all the assets that are for sale and structure a pitch. We need to make a presentation of your company, starting with the company structure, your roadmap, how you started, where you are now, have you met expectations, have you exceeded, where are you looking to go, what are the key market advantages that your business has, what differentiates it from any other offers, what's the strategic reason to purchase it. And then we tidy up and we prepare all your documentation to be ready to go into a due diligence process without delays. So we're going to have a look and clean up your financials, everything that has to do with your license. We'll look if you have any liabilities and clear that out. So preparation, making a narrative about your company, putting it in a context. What's the story behind it? How did it get so far? What's the growth path that it can have in the future? What strategic value will it bring to that buyer? And once we make it clear why it's an asset worth buying, then we prepare to go into a due diligence process and we clean up all your documents, all your financials, have everything ready to go and to be checked as soon as possible.
And Adam um, is going in detail. He is asking, please advise on the timing. How long will the sales process last? And is it possible to speed it up, and how?
That's a very complex question that I get asked all the time, and it's a natural question to ask, of course. But there's not an answer I can give because I don't know what exactly we're talking about. So the how fast a sale goes, it depends on, first of all, what we're selling, how complicated, how complex is the asset. Are we selling just, for example, just an empty license that has never been used? It was just issued, so due diligence is going to take maybe a few days, a few weeks, because there's nothing really to check. And that's extremely fast. Or are we talking on the other extreme about a casino that's been operating for 10 years across multiple jurisdictions? It's holding four licenses, it has offices on two continents. You know, it's very depends what we're selling.
For example, online casino. Can you give us some examples? Like any ordinary online casino you can imagine. For example, I don't
Again,
know,
it's a
they, they want to work in the UA.
again, it has to do also with the regulator. because what clients need to understand, and actually it's a good thing to clear up, because I see this misconception a lot. Many buyers that come to me, they have the wrong idea that buying a ready-made license will take much less time than actually applying for a new one, which is more often than not not entirely accurate. And what clients need to understand here is the reason why even buying something ready-made can take a long period of time, maybe not as long as a new application, but in some cases very similar, is the reason because even when you do a simple change of ownership over a license, the new owners still need to pass KYC checks and to be approved by the regulator. So yes, you're saving some time with the company creation that's going to hold the license, and maybe connectivity and establishing bank accounts and things like that, but you're still going to need to pass the vetting of the regulator, right? So how long will it take? Yes, it depends on the complexity of the business. And second thing that determines how long it's going to take is the jurisdiction that we are talking about. To give two simple examples, if we're talking about Anjuan selling an online casino, something very basic, okay, structure with just an Anjuan license, it can be done maybe in a few months, okay, less than half a year, maybe, just to be conservative, it can be much less than that. If we're talking about selling, again, very basic, simple operation, but with an MGA license, then it can take even over a year, and that's simply because of the regulator.
What do you think? Is it better to have the license first and then sell the company, like proceed with M&A
Absolutely.
deals? Yeah.
Absolutely, because it's going to raise the value of the company.
Your friends, please share your comments, your questions in the special section on our channel. Ioana, let's wait 2 3 minutes. Maybe someone have questions.
Sure.
Yeah, we have one more. Is it better to buy a new or used license? Thank you for your question.
Thank you for the question. Um, it depends. A new or used license. Actually, I get this a lot. It depends on your target, on the reason you're buying that license, and your budget, and how fast you want that license. What do I mean by that? Um, if you are a new operator just starting right now, and you're looking at your very first license, everything is fresh with your company, then sometimes I would advise just to get a fresh license as well, because you're at the beginning anyway. Chances are you're not pressured by time, right? So you can spend maybe a few more weeks or another month and get a fresh license, rather than getting through the complicated process of an acquisition. You know, a new operator already has a lot of things ongoing at the same time for the launch of an operation, and sometimes adding more things on that to-do list becomes overwhelming. I've seen it before, and even simple things, just following up on sales process, sometimes becomes too much. So maybe it's just simple to get an expert's advice, get someone like us that handle the process from A to Z without any interference, any need for your additional work, and we give you the license when it's done and it's clean, it's fresh, and it's new with your operation. The cases when I think it's more clients are more inclined to buy a ready-made license is number one, if they are in a very big hurry, and even saving a few weeks, a month or two is very important for them. That's the number one reason. And this can come from different sources, this need. They might face the risk of losing their primary license and they need a replacement real fast. It happens. But more often than not, another reason for buying something ready-made, these clients are not just looking for an empty license, they're looking for a license with some other assets as well. For example, a license that already has banking solutions onboarded or PSPs onboarded, right? So they make this acquisition because they're getting a bigger infrastructure already to like a plug and play solution in their operation, instead of going through the process of applying for the license, getting the banking, getting the PSPs and other assets as well. So these are the two cases in which it's better and more commonly seen by me that buyers want something ready-made.
Thank you very much for so detailed answer. Friends, you can share your questions if you have any questions. Okay, I guess it's very clear. Ioana, thank you very much for this amazing conversation. I just enjoyed every minute.
Thank you, Christina. As always, you're a great host. I'm glad I got my chance to talk here. I'm sure I'll be back again soon. And thank you for the people that joined us today.
Yeah, thank you, friends, for joining us today. See you next week.
Enjoy
Bye
your
bye.
weekend. Bye bye.
Bye bye.